Hello. I had a green tiger tamara. Then I had a ton of beans. Your cantera beans, your blue lake bush beans, and I also did peppers. I said that already. I also did lettuce. It was a sugar baby melon. Don't get it twisted. It was like no bigger than this. And I don't listen. I don't do bugs. Welcome to Baby Steps Gardening. I'm Temica, an urban gardener in Zone 7B, Maryland. And if you're new to gardening or growing in a small space, you're in the right place. Hello. Okay, so this is my very first YouTube video for this channel. So if you are joining me today, congratulations. You're like a founding subscriber or a founding watcher. I don't know. But thanks for being here. So I'm going to give a quick intro, and then I kind of want to talk about what I've grown previously and what I plan to grow this year in 2026. So I think like for a lot of newer gardeners, and when I say newer, I'm saying like 6 years or under, I think gardening became our like passion project. For me, it did. During the pandemic, when you're kind of, we were unable to go outside, couldn't really do too much of anything. I turned to gardening. It was like a safe space. It's our deck, so we can kind of go out on our deck, and that's our area. And that's kind of how this whole thing started. I started with just one raised bed. I'm not even sure if you can call it a raised bed, because when I think of raised beds, I'm thinking of something that's just barely off of the ground. But this was more like a planter box, maybe. I'll see if I can insert a picture and show you. But I started with that, and I got my first seedlings from a local nursery. So I didn't grow anything from seed. I went to the local nursery, like many new gardeners or even experienced gardeners do. So that's where I got our first seedlings. Your standard tomato. I don't think we had a pepper. We did have cucumbers, eggplants. I think I even had okra. So I had a good variety. But that was year one. I think I grew again year two. I think year three, we kind of scaled back. Either year three or year four, we scaled back and did something just really simple like your basic lettuce. But last year, 2025, I think was my biggest deck garden ever. I had let's see. I had two tomato plants. I had a green tiger tamara. I had a green tiger tomato, a sunrise bumblebee tomato, Buena Mulata peppers, lunchbox peppers. So I saved seeds from um I saved seeds from one of my recent trips to Aldi's, one of the sweet peppers that I bought. I saved those seeds and try to see if they would grow, and they did. So I had those peppers. I had Thai dragon chili, and I had oh gosh, what's that other one called? Oh, cayenne long slim peppers. So I had those. So I had four peppers going, two tomatoes going. Then I had a ton of beans. I had your tricolor beans, your cantera beans, your blue lake bush beans, and my absolute favorite, dragon tongue beans. If you haven't tried them, please go ahead and add that to your 2026 list. Um, but yeah, so those were the ones that I had, the beans that I had. I also did peppers. I said that already. I also did lettuce. I had a lot of lettuce, like a ton of lettuce. I think that grew extremely well where I am. I don't have a south-facing window, so our deck does not get a ton of sun until like the peak of summer, and then it kind of like trails off. So in a future video, I think I'll do some sun mapping so you can kind of see where the sun comes in and sets where we are. But I don't have a south-facing window, so I am kind of just barely limited to what I can grow successfully. But we do okay. We do okay. I do want to say that I've even grown watermelon. Now, I didn't grow watermelon last year in 2025. I grew it, I think it was maybe 2022 or 2021. It was a sugar baby melon. Don't get it twisted. It was like no bigger than this. It was like no bigger than this. But it grew successfully. What else? There was another melon that I grew too, also very small, but it also grew successfully. So I've grown quite a bit of things in the past 6 years, but I think this year we're going to change things up a little bit. My husband purchased the vertical planters, and they're not green stalks, but they are vertical planters. So I'm going to give them a go this year. In one green stalk, I just want nothing but lettuce, bok choy, and spinach. I haven't decided what I want in the second green stalk. I'm thinking adding radishes and beets, but I'm still kind of back and forth. So that's a little bit about me and what I've grown in the past. Now I am in zone 7B. Zone 7B is not limited to just one state. So I'm in the state of Maryland, zone 7B. Our weather is kind of weird. In fact, right now we are dealing with Snowpocalypse 2026. We were supposed to see upwards of 24 inches of snow. I think we're getting closer to just having maybe a foot. So our weather is kind of up and down. I actually plan to start our 2026 garden in about 2 weeks. Indoors, I plan on planting um, some lettuce and bok choy. As a matter of fact, I am going to show you what I plan on planting this year. So hang on. Okay, so let me show you the tomatoes that I plan to plant this year, this growing season. So for tomatoes, I'm starting with the Sart Roloise. I think that's how you say it. I've been saying it all sorts of different ways, but I believe it's called Sart Roloise. It's just stinking pretty. I don't know what it's going to taste like, but it is so pretty. I really hope that we see some success with that. The other one I'm going to do is the Sunrise Bumblebee. Now, I am a part of a lot of different gardening groups, and in one of the groups, I traded with someone for the Sunrise Bumblebee. So hopefully they do well as well. I have some chocolate cherry. That's kind of tried and true. Um, I don't think I'm going to have an issue with that. This one, this one is really going to be a wing and a prayer or a wish and a prayer because it's the black creme tomato, but I literally only have like 2 seeds left. So I don't know. I don't know. We may have black creme, we may not. We'll just have to wait and see. And then I have some others, like I have the dwarf kiss tomato. I don't think I'm going to do that one. And I have green tiger again, but I'm not going to do that one. I didn't really have great success with it. Like it grew, but the fruit itself was solid as a rock. And when I cut into it, it was just so super firm. I think I know where I went wrong with it, and it had to deal with the actual soil. So I won't won't do it again this year, but I know now where I went wrong. Like the soil at one point became hydrophobic. I would literally water the plants and it would roll right off, but the soil itself was not properly amended. So it didn't have a good ratio of um, vermiculite, coco coir, and then compost. It had mainly compost, and that plant suffocated. So I won't be doing it again this year, but I will do the spoon tomato. So I had these seeds a long time now, maybe oh no, only about 2 years. I think I got these last year. Actually, I got these last year. They're spoon tomatoes, and I'm gonna try this year. The only thing that concerns me with the spoon tomato is I know that it's going to be a really bushy plant, and when you're growing on a deck, you're kind of limited on space. So I have to kind of tread lightly with that one, but we'll kind of wait and see. Um, we're also doing peppers. Let me show you the pepper that I'm most excited to grow this year. It is the Baker Creek Sugar Rush pepper. This pepper looks absolutely amazing. Last year we did the Buena Mulatas, which we're going to do again this year. Much success with that. We also did Thai Dragon, but I don't think I'm going to do Thai Dragon again this year. So definitely doing the Sugar Rush Peach. Um, we're gonna do Buena Mulata, and I also traded with someone for this Trinidad Perfume Hot. So I'm actually in between growing the Trinidad Perfume Hot or the white habanero. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It can go either way. It can go either way. I don't know. I will say that I've seen pictures of the white habanero. It gives me the itchies. It just looks like what are those? What are those things? I can't think of the word. Like they're really maggots. It looks like maggots on a bush, and it gives me the creeps. So I may not be doing that. But yeah. So there's our peppers. So I haven't completely mapped out everything that I'm growing, but I'll show you what I am growing. I just couldn't tell you when I'm planting them and when I'm starting and how many of them because I haven't mapped that out yet. But I definitely want to try this Chinese red meat radish. Radish grows so quickly. In fact, let's see how long this one takes. I don't think it says on this packaging. No, I'm not seeing it on the packaging, but radishes, you can have a radish in 40 days or less. So if you have time to grow a radish, please do. 40 days or less and you'll have a radish. These are Harris seeds, and this one is the cherry bell radish. So again, I think these are what's going to be in that vertical, the second vertical planter. At least that's my thought for right now. And I know I mentioned that I'm starting bok choy. So here are a few of the varieties that I plan to grow this year. I love a good bok choy. Listen, with this whole 2026 snow apocalypse, how about I went to Safeway for some bok choy? Do you know how much I paid for that bok choy? Because I'm still burning up about this. $9. $9 for some bok choy. So I'll be growing my own. So yes, I'll be growing my own. These are the tiny ones. So they're really small. So they're going to fit perfectly in the vertical planter. But then I also have Purple Lady. Purple Lady Bok Choy. Excited about that. And I think those are the only two bok choys that I have. Let me see. Oh, and then we have a ton of lettuce. Because they did so well last year, it only made sense to keep this going. So I have a lot of varieties. You've got Henderson's Black Seeded Simpson, Flashy Butter Gem. Let's see, you've got Pablo. Oh, Pablo, like from the Backyardigans. He was my favorite. We've got more black seeded. And then Bergam's Green. So this was the lettuce that I grew last year that did amazing. Amazing. It's from Harris Seeds. It came in like a little like tube. So I poured it out into this so that I can store it a little easier. But Harris Seeds Bergam's Green, amazing. I'll see if I can insert like a pic of it somewhere here. Again, my first YouTube video, so I've got to figure out all the ins and outs of how you influencers do these things. But yeah, again, that's just a few of the items. I do plan to do okra. I just have to find the right space for it. I do also plan to do cucumbers this year, and I haven't done cucumbers in the last, say, 3 or 4 years, mainly because they were attacked. They were attacked by some kind of bug, and I don't listen. I don't do bugs. So I'm one of those scaredy gardeners where if I see a hornworm, I'm taking off running and I'm calling my husband. I don't do bugs. I know, I know. How can you be a gardener and not be able to handle the bugs? I can't. I can't. I can't. And that's why I enjoy growing on my deck and not like in the ground. The pests are very minimal. But when they show up, I call my husband. So here is the lemon cucumber. I'm really excited to grow this one. And then I traded seeds for the crystal apple cucumber. So lemon cuke and crystal apple. I will say that once you start growing more and more like different varieties, you'll become bored with like the standard of any sort of vegetable. So if you started with the bell pepper, next season you're like, I don't want to do bell peppers again. I want this spicy habanero that's it's going to happen once you start getting bit by the gardening bug. If you've grown blue lake bush beans, you're going to say, oh no, I don't want to do it again this year. I want to do the horticulture, or I want to do dragon's tongue, or I want to do Cherokee Trail of Tears. You want to kind of branch out and check out different varieties, and there is nothing wrong with that. So I think I'll go ahead and end it here. Psych, I lied. I want to show you the carrots. Now, I have not had success with growing carrots from seed. It grew, the one carrot that I started from seed that kind of grew, it might have grown a quarter of an inch, and the rest of it was just carrot top. So we're going to try again this year, and I'm going to try the purple dragon. And then I traded with someone for the Lila Lucerne carrot. Kind of looks like the purple dragon as well, but I have a ton of others. I will say, if I am successful this year with growing carrots, then I will branch out and try some more. But I actually think I will be sowing these very, very, very early in the spring, because carrots don't really like warm weather. They're more of a cool weather crop. So I'm going to try them a little early this year, because carrots, they also don't want their roots disturbed. So they have to be direct sown. Our weather is not going to break. Our last frost isn't until April. So these carrots likely won't make it into the ground until early May. And even that's kind of depending on how things go with our weather. But I will likely try to get them in the ground, or the bag, because I grow in grow bags. I'll try to get them in the bag or one of the planters by early May. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm not crying if I'm not successful with the carrots. I've done very, very well with peppers, tomatoes, lettuce. So if I don't do too well with the carrots, it's okay. There's always fall, and then we'll try again in the fall. I think that's like the beauty of gardening and taking baby steps, is you kind of just try it. And if it doesn't work out, just okay, just try again. It's all right. No harm, no foul, no tears. But yeah, so that's it. So look, if you've made it this far, I thank you. I plan on uploading hopefully like once a week. I will show you what the garden looks like, but I can't show you just yet because there's nothing to see. There's literally a foot of snow over everything out there. I might insert a clip and kind of give you like a quick view of it, but there's nothing to see right now. So next time we meet, maybe I'll be sowing some seeds, or still just kind of showing you how I map out my garden. But yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for sticking in there with me on my very first YouTube video on this channel. Do come back for more. I do plan to upload some additional videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share, all that good jazz that those influencers say. And I'll see you next time. Bye.